Hello, everyone. So, my name is Damodar Kumar, and I will be helping you out today how to read a Scrum guide. So, as all of you know, that Scrum and Scrum Master roles, such as Scrum Master or Agile Program Manager, Delivery Manager, so Project Manager, so these roles are highly in demand. And after AI, so they will still remain in demand. So I get a lot of questions asking about how we can transition into these roles. So the first step, everyone knows that professional Scrum Master or like certified Scrum Masters are the two major certifications, which is the base level, and everyone wants to do. A lot of study material are available in the industry or the market or the YouTube or like ChatGPT. So, but still, uh, the Scrum Guide, which is the official Scrum Guide, it will always stay relevant and in demand because that's the one from where it all started. So let's start straight away. Before we start, I would request you, if you know me, my name is Damodar Kumar, and I have my venture, we call it Crush the Cert. I would request you if you can just subscribe the channel and keep following us. We will be pushing more such videos coming weeks. This agenda is simple. We will be helping anyone who needs us for transitioning their role, or if they want some review on the LinkedIn profile or on the resume. So we have like a community where we help each one of you if you are interested. And there are no such charges as of now. So we are also growing at present. There is no charges. I'm not sure about the future, but I see at least it will take some time, not to worry now. So if you have something, just throw us a message and we will be more than happy to assist. Okay, so let's start this way. I'm just writing here the Scrum guide, and you will be seeing that the first link, which is scrumguide.org, that's the one which we will be working on. So let's click that. Okay, so we will be using the second option, which is download English version. Okay, so now you are seeing the Scrum guide, and these are the two founders, Ken and Jeff, who are the pillars. Okay. So first thing first, the Scrum guide is only 13 to 14 pages, but don't the size fool you because it's written by the Ken and Jeff, which are who are the creators of the Scrum, and this is the official source. It's not a blog, not a course. This is the Bible of the Scrum. So and it's get updated periodically. The last version which I saw was around 2017. So it's highly recommended that you always download like I did. Simple. Go on the Google, just write Scrum, paste guide, enter the first link. It will show the latest. Click on this and the same. You want to click again? Let's do that. The same page will open. Now let's start this way. Uh, we'll break down this into five simple steps. If you see that, first we will be understanding the definition of the Scrum. This is the one. Do you see that? Scrum definition. Then we will be going into the Scrum theory, Scrum team, events, and artifacts. I repeat, we will be breaking this Scrum guide into five steps. One will be definition, theory, Scrum team, Scrum events, Scrum artifacts. Don't worry if these terms are new for you, that's absolutely fine. It is new for most of us. We'll make it through, not to worry. So, and you do not need to memorize it now. Just get the feel of the layout. Just get uh, like keep reading this Scrum guide on and off. Just take a printout like I do. mark something with a pen. Just like make it, uh, just feel it first. Okay? Uh, of course, our main agenda is not to make you a Scrum Master or Agile Program Manager or a Delivery Manager, but make you someone who is confident about the role and can easily give interview questions answered very well. So let's again start it. While you are reading this, there will be a lot of technical jargons, but not to worry. Just keep focusing on few words, which is must, like account, which must and accountable, because commitment. So these are not just a filler, but they actually is kind of a words which you need to focus on. Okay, so let's do this way. Let me start you now. So we'll make it a quick session. Uh, we will not make it read like a novel because it will, like you can also do that, right? Okay, yeah. So I will just focus on wherever I feel it's necessary. Okay. So this Scrum was developed in early 1990s, and this guide, which you see, the first version was developed in 2010, and it's helping since then to like project complete their work or complete the project's work. So, yep. So, like the Scrum has been evolving through all small or functional update, and like the team behind it, Jim, like Jeff and uh, Ken always stand behind that. Yeah. So the Scrum guide contains definition of Scrum that's important, and each element of the framework serves a specific purpose. That's correct, and it's essential if we want to realize the Scrum. So if we are following Scrum, we have to value each and every part of it. Okay. So any changes, if you do, may make it like a rendering, it make it useless. So just this is the nutshell. Okay. And initially it was like developed for software projects, but it was uh, adopted by many other domains, and it is currently being used widely. So we like the main motive for the Scrum is like we follow the growing use of Scrum within ever-growing complex world. Scrum adopted is many domain holding essential complex work beyond software product. As I told you, initially it was software product, but then many domains followed the step and they are now using Scrum. Okay, and they have Scrum uses spread developers, researcher, analyst, other specialists to do the work. That's a Scrum team. We will be working. We will be coming on that, but do not confuse with the developers only that who are developing the website or in the softwares. Uh, as I told you, if it is a software product, then there is a developer. But if there is any other domain such as manufacturing, there may or may not be developers. But still the Scrum processes will remain relevant if you follow throughout. So as the Scrum is being used, patterns, processes, insights as the Scrum. Okay, yeah, that's pretty uh, good to know that all the patterns, processes, insights all fit in the Scrum. Okay, their description is beyond the purpose because, okay, this is fine. So this is the index, purpose, Scrum definition, Scrum theory, Scrum values, Scrum team, Scrum events, Scrum artifacts, Scrum backlog, increment. Okay, so we'll start with Scrum definition. So Scrum this is very much important. I would stay here for at least, I want to stay here for at least 2 minutes because if you see that, it gives you a definition. So Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps people, team, and organization generate value through adaptive solution for complex problems. So what does it mean? It's that you have to understand what the framework definition means. So framework is nothing but it doesn't. It's something which is loose. It's not telling you how to do. gives you processes, it gives you rules, but you have to use that rules, processes, like artifacts, principles, uh, by yourself. Okay, so it's a framework. So that helps people, team, and organization generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems. So yeah, in nutshell, Scrum requires a Scrum Master to foster an environment where. That's why the role of Scrum Master comes in. Because if there is a Scrum, there has to be a Scrum Master who can foster or nurture an environment where the product owner orders the work for a complex problem into product backlog. Scrum teams turns a selection of work to an increment of value during the sprint. The Scrum team and its stakeholder inspect the result and adjust for the next sprint. So let's do understand this. How is it going? So when we say a product owner, so how many of you understand what is it? What does it mean by product owner? Anyone wants to write what their understanding is, that will be highly grateful. So if I make you understand, so the product owner is the one who actually owns that piece of product. For example, we'll take an example here for the Amazon. So Amazon have different categories, right? So we have a category for the books, for the like electronics, for the home care, for the pets, or for like cameras. So there are different uh, for the gardening. So we have a different categories, and for the each categories there has to be a product owner, or we have also some softwares also which are being used in Amazon. For example, if we are using Salesforce as a CRM, Amazon, or if you are using AWS, or we are using like a payment software or any such thing. So there has to like, because it's not something for Amazon. Like if we have a category which is for the laptops, it's not something they have developed that and they will stop working on it. So how it will working is like they have that category, and this category will get evolved. So they will be keep working on. For example, if you have recently seen the Amazon, so before the images in the laptop were only like there may not be any videos, but now they have included the video. They have an option where you can actually virtually place the item wherever you want and see how it looks like in the room. So these are small business improvements which the product owner is responsible of doing so. So this is why it's important. The product owner is important. So how it is done is like, so product owner is the main also responsible. And when they find that something needs to be done, they add that item into the product backlog. And then in the Scrum team, there are developers who pick those items for development, and they complete the development, then they do testing, they complete the testing, and then they deploy after the sprint planning. So the complete work is done end to end in sprints. So we will be coming on the sprints, but take this sprint as 2 week sprint. So like they will be completing work in 2 weeks. So whatever their capacity of our team, they will pick those items for the 2 weeks. And this 2 weeks, they will be only working on these items. And once it is completed, it will be marked off. So in the after 2 weeks, they will again pick items from the product backlog. So in the product backlog, who the responsible is product owner. Product owner will keep on putting items which he have the requirements either from the business team, either from the stakeholders, and The development teams will pick those items as per their capacity and complete these items, and they will also show it back to the business and the stakeholder how it looks like after the development. And if they are all good, they will push for the production. So this is kind of a summary which I was trying to explain you. So let's do this way. We'll quickly go through today uh, in this part about the Scrum theory, and then we'll end this till in the here. Okay, so this will be the part one. Okay, so yeah, not to worry, we'll help you out. So we will be completed till Scrum uh, and Scrum pillars. Okay, so yeah. So now you know that Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps people, teams, and organizations generate value through adaptive solution for complex problems. In a nutshell, Scrum requires a Scrum Master to foster an environment where a product owner orders the product, orders the work for a complex problem into product backlog. So as I told you, that category, that product owner of the Amazon, if he finds some work is told by the stakeholders, he will not put it anywhere else, but only into product backlog. And the Scrum team. So the Scrum teams are like the team which have developers. So they will be picking those items from the product backlog, and they will be working during the sprint. It can be of the 2 weeks. And once they complete that, we call it an increment of the value. So there was some work needs to be done. It's now completed, and we call it increment of value. And the third point is the Scrum team and its stakeholders inspect the result. So the Scrum team is the one which is developer, Scrum Master, and the product owners. So the when I say developers, so include the testers also. So the Scrum team is like the developers, testers. They will be working on, and once it is completed, the developers, tester, and the stakeholders who were involved and who are affected by this product, they will be inspecting how it looks like after the development work. And once it is, and they will be working, or if there is anything, they will adjust for the next sprint. And this process gets repeated every 2 weeks. So there are events in these 2 weeks how it goes, but this is the process. Okay, so the Scrum is simple. It is try as it is. We have and determine its philosophy, theory, and structure help to achieve goal and create value. And the Scrum frameworks is purposely incomplete and only defines the parts required to implement Scrum theory. And Scrum is like something which is, as it says beautifully that it's purposely incomplete, and it only tells what is essential, only defining the part required to implement the Scrum theory. Scrum is based on the collective intelligence of the people using it. So it doesn't provide any detailed instruction. The only thing here is the rule of the Scrum guide, like the rule of the Scrum guide their relationships and interaction. So various processes, techniques, and method can be employed within the framework. Scrum wraps around existing practices or renders them unnecessary. Scrum makes visible the relative efficacy of the current management environment and work techniques so that improvement can be made. So in terms of understanding, this is still basic, nothing to worry. But yeah, this definition is very much important. This is also very much important. Okay, so Scrum is founded on empiricism and lean thinking. So empiricism asserts that knowledge comes from experience and making decisions based on what is observed. So this is very much important. So when we say the Scrum is kept intentionally incomplete, it's because we only gives some rules and guide the relationship and interaction between the team. The main thing we believe in the Scrum is that it is founded on empiricism. Empiricism. I'm so sorry if I read that wrong, and lean thinking. So when we say that empiricism, it means that knowledge comes from the experience and and like what the team observes over their past experiences and what is the historical learning, and from those the decision is made. So lean thinking again, it reduces waste and focusing on the essentials. Somehow we call that like if I'm just saying that MVP. So uh, our main focus when we complete the sprint is on the sprint goal. We'll come over on that, not to worry, but only on what we needs to deliver. We don't go into extra work, which may cause us losing the goal of the sprint. So Scrum employs an iterative incremental approach to optimize predictability, and to control risk. So as I told you, when we say here repeat, so that repeat says that it's something which is iterative. It's incremental because after every 2 weeks, we have a working product which is shown to stakeholders, and it's an incremental approach. Every 2 weeks, we are increasing uh, our product and we are reaching towards our final goal. Okay. So incremental approach to optimize predictability and to control risk. Scrum engages group of people who collectively have the skill and the expertise to do the work and share or require such skill as needed. So yeah, so that's something which is important here because as when we say that Scrum is founded on empiricism, that's something which is why we have a group of people who collectively have all the skill and expertise to do the work and share or acquire skill as needed. So when we have the Scrum team, that Scrum team is enough. We do not need any other thing. So at when a situation comes up, the team will acquire skills, or they will share the skill across each other and complete the work as required. So the Scrum combines four formal events for inspection and adaptation. So for now, just forget about the four formal events. We will come on this later. But uh, inspection and adaptation is here a key. So just keep this two words, remember, inspection and adaptation. And these events who work because they implement the empirical Scrum pillars. That's now I'm coming to Scrum pillars. So the Scrum pillars are transparency, inspection, and adaptation. So how it is done here is that's the key here. This is important. Questions in the certifications do come from these three pillars. So transparency, inspection, adaptation. So transparency is exactly what you are understanding. So it's something which is like we are not hiding anything. Everything is visible and known to all of the team. So the emergent process and work must be visible to those performing the work as well as those receiving the work. So those receiving the work may be the stakeholders, customers, and performing the work is the Scrum team. So with the Scrum, important decisions are based on the perceived state of its three formal artifacts. So these artifacts are different. So we'll come back on this, but now my main goal is to make you teach Scrum pillars. So artifacts that have low transparency can lead to a decision that diminish value and increase risk. So that's 100% right. Anything which has low transparency, the things are hidden, they can increase risk. So for example, if I am doing one important like development, I'm writing code for like for something which is like integrating my website with AI, for example, or a chatbot. And in one stage, I am uh, getting confused, or I believe that I may go wrong, but I'm not telling to the team. So what will happen here? If I don't tell the team, so uh, I'm hiding it. I'm because there may be a scenario where I don't want to show my team that I'm not capable or I'm having questions, and they may think that I may not be capable. But the thing here is that I'm still hiding. When I'm hiding it, so it's now risking the overall goal of the sprint, right? So if in the 2 weeks after, when I show my sprint in the review to my stakeholders, what's the outcome, and if the that thing didn't work, so the 2 weeks were wasted. So transparency is very much important, and hiding or low transparency can lead to decision that diminish value and increase risk. Again, when we have 100% transparency, it enables inspections, right? So I'm not hesitant when I'm transparent, and it's open, so anyone can inspect. I'm opening my door, telling all what I'm doing, what I will be doing tomorrow, what I have done today, and I'm allowing everyone to have a look or have an inspection. And inspection without transparency is misleading and wasteful. So keep an eye on that. Inspection without transparency is misleading and wasteful. It doesn't make sense. When I try to inspect you and you're hiding things, it's like wasting both of the time. Okay. So, and the inspection here is the Scrum artifacts and the progress towards agreed goal must be inspected frequently and diligently to detect potential undesirable variants of problem. To help with the inspection, Scrum provide guidance in the form of 5 events. So here, the thing here is that inspection, uh, the, the thing here is that it should be the progress towards the goal should be inspected frequently and diligently to detect potential undesirable outcomes, variances, or problems. So inspection should be more often. If it is more often, then there are no more surprises. And uh, to help this inspection, there is 5 events which Scrum provides. Okay, we'll come on those events, those artifacts, but just remember these 3 pillars as of now. Okay, so inspection enables adaptation. So how it is working here is, so we have uh, like a transparency, then the transparency enables inspections and inspection enables adaptation. So again, when we are doing inspection without adaptation is considered pointless. So for example, I take that role only that I was developing my website and integrating this my website with the AI chatbot. So how it goes is that I was stuck. I put that to them. I just raised that to my team, and the team, one of my team member inspected that. And once they inspected my team and they helped me to follow a different approach, or they provided me with some uh, key changes which I need to do. And after I made that changes, my thing or my integration was in good shape. So that's adaptation. So when I uh, took all the changes, I accepted the changes like a happily. So that's adaptation. So if we are doing inspection, but we are not doing adaptation, so it's worthless. I'm asking you some for a feedback, or like someone is inspecting my work, but I'm not ready to hear the feedback. So it doesn't make sense for the inspection only. So Scrum events are designed to provoke change. So just keep an note of this. Just note down this. Scrum events are designed to provoke change. So when we are in the Scrum, we welcome change. Okay. Okay. So if any aspect of the process deviate outside acceptable limits, or if the result product is unacceptable, the process being applied or material being produced must be adjusted. That's what I was saying. If there is anything which is not acceptable, or the outcome is not acceptable, or it's like beyond the limit. So these, like a feature, item, or development needs to be adjusted, right? So the adjustment should be made as soon as possible to make sure that this is not affected in the further lines. Okay. So adaptation becomes more difficult when the people involved are not empowered or self-managing. So again, they are not managing themselves or they are not empowered, it becomes adaptation becomes difficult. So Scrum team is expected to adapt the moment it learns anything new through inspection. So when there's an inspection, we have an outcome, we have a adaptation we need to do it as soon as possible. So this is for the part one. So in the part two, we will be starting Scrum values. And we'll make sure that we have already covered 4 pages, so not to worry. We'll make that pretty easy, engaging. Just have a coffee and hop on to part two if you are ready. Thank you, guys.